Welcome to another Chef Knives to Go quick look product review. I am Steve G, and what we have this time is the Nakamura Awagami or Blue No. 1 Santoku 165mm knife. I just did the bunka, which is very similar in size, so we'll see what the differences are. I can see the thickness of the blade coming out of the handles much less here than on the other one, so these are going to vary from knife to knife. The way these are made is they're all reactive, so traditional construction. They've got an Awagami or Blue Paper No. 1 reactive high carbon steel core steel in the middle that comes out to the cutting edge, and then it's clad on either side for a 3-layer construction with soft iron reactive cladding. That cladding does have a protective, what's known as a blacksmith or kuda-uchi finish to it, and then it also looks like these have some lacquer, like a food safe lacquer coating that'll wear away as you start to use the knife. The weight and dimensions can vary a little bit from knife to knife. This particular one is 135 grams or 4.8 ounces. Heat treat on that Awagami No. 1 is typically in that 62 range, but it can vary a little bit. Handle, just kind of a classic lightweight handle that's what's called magnolia or hoe wood with a plastic collar ferrule on it. They definitely have not skimped on the sealer here, so it's quite a bit of sealer. It's not super neat, but they have done the job sealing that up really well, so that's a good thing. The handle it's raw wood, so it's not sealed or finished really. So some people like to oil these or put some kind of sealer on them so they don't get stained. Some people don't care. Just depends on your preference. Balance-wise, the handle's light, which is good because the blade's not that big. So that's going to bring our balance point to right about there on this one. Pinch-wise, I'm just a little bit in front of that, not a whole lot for me, for my pinch, so fairly neutral, maybe just a touch handle heavy, but not much. Dimensionally, 167 millimeters is what I got on the edge on this one. They'll be in that range, 6.6 inches. Overall length, about 308 millimeters or 12.1 inches. Spine thickness, the bunka I just did was like over 4 millimeters in this section. This one's like 2.85, so right here, so it thins out way quicker than the previous one. So these are going to vary quite a bit from knife to knife. But it was similar. This one's about 2.0. It's actually slightly thinner, but they'll be similar probably once you get past that initial thickness. Not a lot of taper here at all once you get to that middle part of the blade. You can see it does thin out nicely towards the tip. Here's your grind. It's not a tall grind, meaning it starts fairly low on the blade, about halfway, maybe a little bit more than that down the blade, as far as thinning up towards the edge, but nice and thin at the tip on this one. And then here's your choil shot. Fairly thin at the edge as well. You'll get quickly into the blade thickness, so that'll help food separation for you. Height-wise, this one's about 47.1 at the back, so plenty tall. Not a ton of space here for your finger, but there's a little spot there you can get your finger kind of nestled in a little bit. Let's look at the beauty shot here. You can see some embossed kanji and symbols on the left side of the blade. You can see kind of rustic hammered marks. And your kuda-uchi finish. Here's your grind down towards the edge. Edge steel does come out, but it's a little hard to see. It's just kind of faint, but there is a line there. But here's your markings on the left side of the blade. Here's the right side of the blade. Definitely some rustic hand-hammered character here. They've done a little bit of relief on the corners of the spine, a little bit of work on the choil, so it's pretty comfortable out of the box. So decent fit and finish on it. The grinds are pretty clean, which is important, so they've done a good job where it counts on the grinds. Again, stiff blade. Edge, I'll give it 5 to 6 out of 10 on my scale. It's a reasonably decently crafted edge, but you could do better. Part of that could be the lacquer. Sometimes the lacquer kind of gets on the edge a little bit when they coat the blade. But this will get about as sharp as you can possibly do with your skill set. This one, the bunka had a little different characteristic. And these can vary a little bit. So this particular one has a big old honking flat spot. The bunka did not. So this has a big flat spot right here in the back 40% of the blade. Tip's quite low in relation to the center line, even for a Santoku. So I'm digging in about right there. So about in here is kind of low rocking unless you work the tip a little bit and give yourself a little shape to the tip so you can go higher. But this one has a great chopping spot in the back. Tip draws will be easy. Push-pull cuts, glide cuts, chopping on the back part of this blade. So if you're looking for something that's easy to sharpen, this is a great knife to get some skills on sharpening because it's not super curvy on the edge profile, not a lot of belly. Makes it easier to sharpen. Tip's kind of low, it's not a lot of upsweep. Those are definitely easier to learn how to sharpen on. So if you're looking for something that's all kind of old school construction, all reactive blade, really easy to sharpen, this might be something to look at. This is the Nakamura Awagami or Blue No. 1 Santoku 165mm knife from Chef Knives To Go.